Alright, YouTube. Roost here for my second attempt to try to record this video. I literally made this video first, and then they put out the new gem information. And so I immediately was like, dang it, now I gotta remake the video. Regardless, here we are. I'm talking today about just my league starter ideas, what I'm gonna be going, what I'm leaning towards, if anybody's, has any questions as far as like, what do I want to league start, then here are some options I'm considering. This is all just going to be a PoB video. I'm just kind of go over what I'm doing. If you're here to just kind of yoink a PoB and take a look at it, that'll all be in the description down below. I'll have a link to each of the builds that I'm talking about today. I'm also going to try to mark the video out for the relevant builds as I'm going through them. But yeah, with that being said, I believe that I've actually decided to swap my league starter. I was originally going to do Ele Hit Totem Hierophant, which still seems like it's probably potentially the better version, potentially the stronger version anyway, and potentially might just be a lot better. But I'm going to kind of try to bank it. I like doing things a bit spicier, I like doing things a bit dumber, I would say. And I'm going to try out the new Transfigured Elemental Hit that they showed, which is Elemental Hit of the Spectrum, where instead of being prismatic and choosing one damage type that it fires off every single time that you attack, it deals all 3 damage types right up front. Every attack, you're doing all 3 damage types. So, but you deal no non-elemental damage. So actually, having a big fizz base wand, you can do that, but you actually want to instead then convert that damage to something else. Otherwise, you're just looking for as much flat elemental damage that you possibly can on your wand. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try this out with the Sacred Wisps support here. I'm going to be doing this as potentially as either a Berserker or a Scion. I actually haven't decided that yet. But I'm going to be doing a Wander, Sacred Wisps plus new Elemental Hit, and if the new Elemental Hit ends up being bad, the old Elemental Hit will do completely fine. The original flavor of Elemental Hit will do totally fine, and will still be very strong. But I'm gonna give Elemental Hit of the Spectrum a go because it sounds like a lot of fun. I really want to try this out, and I haven't done a Wander in a long time. And these 2 new gems seem like just a lot of fun to go with. So I'm going to try to league start this. Hopefully it ends up going well. But like I said, I'll go over PoB for this character. And I'll also talk about the Elemental Hit Totem character afterwards that I was originally going to do. I imagine that character to me is far more set in stone as far as an actual good league starter goes, because I've already tested that character. I know how it operates in the end game. I know that character is going to be strong regardless. But I wanted to try this because, why not try new things as they come out? But if you're somebody as well who you get worried about having a bad league start, and you feel annoyed if you try a character and it just ends up not feeling good, and you feel like you've bricked it and you don't like that, I would 100% say go with the Totem Hierophant. It's more confirmed to be good. It's more tested than this will be. But I wanted to try this. I am somebody who doesn't mind if I have a bad league start. It's a bit annoying, but I don't mind it that much. I'll either switch the character around or I'll just completely remake a character, and it's not that big of a deal to me. But yeah, with that, we'll go over this. So this is Berserker here. This is the version I'm probably going to be going with, but we'll see. I think it largely depends on how good the clear feels, and I'll need to kind of think about that a bit more, because Elemental Hit as is actually has a bit of an explosion hit to it, and makes clear very nice, so additional projectiles aren't always necessary, and having the Sacred Wisps there to also help clear could really make a big deal, and maybe won't even necessarily need more projectiles, which if that's the case, Berserker is just huge damage, and there's kind of no reason. If you're looking purely for damage, then Zerker I think is just the way to go, honestly. And I'm also going to be running with Crown of Eyes. Dialas I just have in here, and same with Ashes. I have these in here because they were really cheap in Affliction. I don't know if this will still be the case in this league, but they were very cheap in Affliction League, so I'm just leaving them here for now. But these will rotate out as needed. They aren't fully necessary. You could probably do just a rare piece and a rare amulet in the meantime, but they were so cheap in Affliction that I just wanted to leave them in there just in case as a bit of a hedge. But then we're going Crown of Eyes just so that we can have strength damage bonus applies to all spell damage, and spell damage also, we get increased reduction to spell damage applied to attacks at 150% of their value, and we also get some attack damage leech as life and mana, and some accuracy. So overall, this is a pretty good hat for us. I think it's a good, just like, general item for us to have. But yeah, you can see the tree here. We just have usual stuff going over here, getting tireless. I'll have a shield as well, so grabbing Sanctuary, because that's another good node. We want some more beef where we can get it. I have this cluster jewel set in. I don't necessarily think this will be necessary. Feed the Fury, Fuel the Fight, Martial Prowess. Again, we already have Leech from Crown of Eyes, so I don't necessarily think this is that necessary, and I'll probably switch this just for like an elemental damage one, but for now I'm just going to leave it up. This is just a wand damage for now. But I think elemental damage will overall just be better, most likely. And then taking Secrets of Suffering, of course, because Secrets of Suffering, I think, is way too good on elemental hit. Taking Secrets of Suffering so that we're applying 5 damage types in addition with this use of some skitterbots here. Then we're getting 5 different ailments applied to the enemy with every hit, and that is just too good to pass up in my opinion. But otherwise, pretty standard stuff, I think. Just kind of grabbing some attack stuff, grabbing some power charge stuff, because wands get power charge on crit, and we're taking some wand stuff, of course. Making our way over, taking Throat Seeker for the additional increased effect non-damaging ailments, also very big. This wand wheel here is, of course, also very strong. Intelligence is added to accuracy rating. Very nice as well, just will help us kind of clean up, make sure that we're staying on top of our accuracy. There is one wand node that I wish I could take, which is wand attacks fire and additional projectile. I don't think I'll be able to fit that in, unfortunately. The only way I could think to fit it in would be to drop some points somewhere. Maybe instead of going down, up here, you just take the strength nodes here, go up. And then you'd have to come over here to take Wand Slinger here. I don't necessarily think it's 100% necessary. I don't necessarily know that it's worth it. But that's just what I'm thinking as far as Berserker goes. And then for the tree, of course, we got Grave of the Slaughter, Rite of Ruin, Aspect of Carnage, and Flawless Savagery. Although, I think with the new one, with the new Ele Hit, I mean, this will still give you multi-crit chance, so that's good, but there's some fizz damage here, and this won't actually do anything for Ele Hit itself. So maybe, I think getting some damage conversion in somewhere, maybe just like on your gloves here. I just have these randomly crafted from Craft of Exile, but you could probably get some damage conversion somewhere just so that you're making use of this. If you wanted to grab a Forbidden Flesh and Flame, I wouldn't blame you. Blitz charges could potentially be really fun with this build. So that's probably what I would say there. And then the other tree I was considering, like I was saying, is Scion. So this is what I was considering with Scion, and we would go Zerker and Deadeye. Deadeye for the additional projectile, for having Tailwind, for the additional proj damage, all that kind of good stuff. Though I'm not fully set on this version of the tree, I might change it last minute. Like I said as well, this cluster probably also not the most ideal. We still want Secrets of Suffering, but we don't necessarily care about the other stuff that much. This character, though, can make use out of Wand Slinger a bit more consistently. So I have kind of stretched over to take that along with the additional projectile, simply because if you only have one additional projectile, then you're only firing 2, and enemies will go between them sometimes, and that is really annoying. So you don't necessarily want to do that all the time. I think the only other like potential changes, I don't necessarily know that taking the Deadeye start here, or the Path of the Ranger, I don't necessarily think this is fully worth it. Like, I'm literally here and I have Charisma and I took Heart of the Oak. I grabbed Life and I grabbed Charisma. I don't necessarily think that's fully worth. So I'm gonna look at either, I would say you as the player can consider If you want to do Scion, what you might want to look at is maybe even just fully removing the large cluster and just putting Secrets of Suffering in here. Or if you want to balance it, do Leadership's Price instead of Ashes of the Stars, if you want to try to go that route instead. I think Secrets of Suffering is just easier, especially since we're dealing all 3 damage types right up front. Then we don't have to worry about not hitting enemies with one part of Scorch Brittle or Sapped. So it's up to you. I would say potentially try to remove this if you wanted to. This is, again, I'm still brainstorming a lot of this, so this is kind of a lot of early access into my brain right now. And you could potentially maybe remove some points, maybe even just drop Charisma fully, because we have 20% reserved mana. You could throw in another skill if you really wanted to, but otherwise you could drop Charisma probably and go over, maybe take Multi-Shot, maybe just take Forces of Nature, grab Revenge of the Hunted as well. I could not blame you for taking any of those. I think they'll be very good nodes and very worth. So that's sort of just initial thoughts. That is going to be my league starter, though. That will be the Wand Elemental Hit Sacred Wisp, probably Berserker, but you never know. If I feel like Scion might be better just because Scion gets easier access to projectiles, then I will go the Scion route. And like I said, I will have that in the description. And so with that, we'll go to what I thought my original league starter was going to be, which was the Fire Only Elemental Hit. Sorry. I'm going to go over a different one because I forgot to grab the link that I had for that. Actually, no, I think it's... Yeah, wait, why is it chat? Oh, gosh. Oh, it's not... I grabbed them properly. Okay. Anyway, we'll go over this is Prismatic Tornado. Apologies. This is Prismatic Tornado. I guess I'll have that cut out. But this is Prismatic Tornado. So the new Tornado, I think they have it here. Yeah. So it's Prismatic. It operates much like Elemental Hit, normal Elemental Hit does, where it just chooses one element every time that you fling out the tornado. And what I've sort of thought about doing with this character is instead going as an Inquisitor and doing Battle Mage things with Spellblade and Energy Blade. So we got Spellblade, Energy Blade. We're just stacking a bunch of Energy Shield as much as we can. And then we're instead using Combat Focus here to remove the Cold and remove the Fire options. And so we're only doing Lightning damage instead with this version of Tornado, and then we're doing Element, and then like I said, we're doing we got Energy Blade and all that kind of good stuff. This seems like a lot of fun. I don't necessarily know how good it is. Obviously, you know, it's hard to make a judgment both on just seeing the number and knowing what Tornado is. I would say there's a pretty good likelihood that it will be strong, but as far as league starters go, it could be a bit annoying because you don't get Tornado until Act 4. And you also don't have like this, you kind of have to build into the gear a lot, especially because I'm also taking Pain Attunement and trying to go with a low life deal with Petrified Blood, all that kind of stuff. This one I have put just some thought into. Again, like I said, I've chosen to do the Wander, so I mostly didn't choose to do this because it'll be a while before you're able to actually use Prismatic Tornado. You'd have to either buy one early in the league if people are selling them, or you would have to get lucky in Lab. But also, since you only get it in Act 4 instead of Act 3, then you have to finish Lab and then go back to Act 3 and then farm Lab and and then try to get this and then move on. But overall, I think it seems pretty strong. It seems like it could be a fun character to try. I will certainly be trying this character at some point in the league because I do really want to give this a go. I like Tornado a lot, and I think, and I'm glad that they finally added it as a main damage option instead of kind of the awkward setup that it is right now. But I wanted to show this anyway, just in case somebody out there is like, you know what, I really want to try Tornado. And then here you go. I at least have something of a baseline kind of set up. Hopefully it's decent. Hopefully it ends up being fun. We got low life stuff though, and I'm probably not gonna build in the items for this character because, like I said, I'm not very convinced on this being entirely correct yet, and I'm not fully certain which direction I want to go. So you can hate me for this one. I'm sorry. I'm kind of half-assing this one, but Tornado could potentially be a lot of fun. With that, we'll move to I think this one's an older tree. This is okay. This is an old tree. I'll post the link to the actual version of this build that I have. I don't know why I didn't save that one. I thought that I did. So anyway, this is the Elemental Hit tree. This would be the Elemental Hit Totem character. And like I said, the regular tree one that I have will be slightly different than this. It's still mostly the same, but it's slightly different. So Elemental Hit Totem, what you do instead is we're taking Avatar of Fire here, and we are going to change it with combat focus to be only fire damage, and we're just going to be going down the tree like this. I've tested this build. It was very solid. It was working very well. You can really, really ramp this build like crazy too if you get a Giga Bow. I'm talking one that has +2 projectiles. I'm talking one that has huge added elemental damage on it. Huge flat LE damage. I'm just talking like some major bow action there with this character. Very high damage potential. Very fun. I had a really good time playing it, and I definitely would have continued to if I didn't just want to try Wanderers out. But overall, though, this character, a lot of fun, will be a very, very solid option. Like I said, I'll have the actual updated version for a league start, depending on what you want to do. If you want to try to go with the totem as fast as possible, then you will instead, I have a different leveling tree in here set up in the correct version, and you'll go up here to take Ancestral Bond, Primal Manifestation, Sovereignty, all that kind of good stuff, and then you'll make your way and you'll book it all the way down for Panopticon. That is what you'll do early on in the league, and you'll try to set up your bow with your Elemental Hit. Obviously, though, I think you won't get access to that until until you're in Act 3 and you do the library quest. I think. Don't fully quote me on that, but I believe that is the case. And if you are trying it out and you're feeling like, wow, Elemental Hit is just not doing damage right now, highly recommend you instead try something like Ice Shot and do Ice Shot until you level up Elemental Hit a bit more. Elemental Hit, as far as a gem goes, I feel like the early game can be a little bit rough, but then it really kicks off in the late game. So that is sort of just my 2 cents on that. And like I said, the correct version of this will be in the description. Also, as far as Ascendancy goes, you're taking Pursuit of Faith, Ritual of Awakening, then Conviction of Power, and then these 2 small nodes, because Arcane Blessing here, unfortunately, the totems do not gain Arcane Surge, and Arcane Surge doesn't do anything to them, as unfortunate as that is. But yeah, otherwise, with that, we move on to the next build, which is, I think I want to talk about BAMA, which is Blink Arrow Mirror Arrow. Where did he go? There he is. Blink Arrow Mirror Arrow. I want to talk about this character because this character was literally crazy. This character was cracked, and this character is the only character I've ever had that hit level 98. This character destroyed the end game. I got through all Ubers on this character. Actually, not all Ubers. Sorry, I lied. I got through most Ubers with this character. I 40 out of 40'd with this character. It was a really good time. This character is very strong. I will put him down below in the description as well, just because I think as a league starter, this character was still incredibly good. You just level with other minion skills like SRS or something until you can get probably Blink Arrow of Bombarding or Mirror Arrow of Bombarding, whatever you want to do. But whenever you get one of the Bombarding clones, that is when the build, as far as leveling goes, really takes off, and it starts to just be butter smooth doing stuff. And then the Prismatic clones, of course, will just add a lot of damage. And if you're wondering, hey, well, a lot of damage last league was from Spectres and all that kind of good stuff. Won't that nerf the damage? And the answer is yes, it did nerf the damage a little bit. But there's a caveat. They increase the damage of the prismatic clones by making the deal 25% more damage. And as you can see here, blink arrow of prismatic, or I think it's mirror arrow. I can't remember which one I have it set up with. It's too long. Of prismatic clones, 19 million versus bombarding clones doing 5.7 million. The prismatic clones were shredding, and now they're gonna do 25% more damage. Ooh, baby. But yeah, the damage wise though, the full DPS, this did go down from the specters. I did also put in the more normal, more classic specters in here. So Pale Seraphim, Host Chieftain, Carnage Chieftain, Slave Driver, just some usual specters. I know that they showed off that there are more specters this league, more like special specters this league. And it's possible that some of those will be really good. So if you do play BAMA, keep your ear out. Potentially one of those is really good for this build. But yeah, this character was just insanely good. If you're able to get Blink Arrow or if you're able to get one of the bombarding clones and you feel like trying it out, I can't recommend this build enough. It was a ton of fun. It was really strong. It was really good. And there's a ton of different ways that you can build it too. Like, I'm just going to be showing you Guardian with elemental damage. Don't let that like dissuade you though. Juggernaut with like poison or something, or with the new with how Unholy Might got changed and buffed, you could do this as a Necromancer doing pure chaos, or Necromancer poison, Juggernaut poison. You could do an occultist thing if you really want to. There are so many different avenues that you can go with, and pretty much all of them are really strong. I really don't know like how you could go wrong with BAMA. It just takes a little bit, obviously, because it's a Transfigured gem at the end of the day, so it takes a little bit as far as that goes, but very, very, very good build. So I just wanted to throw this character in there as well for a quick little talk. And with that, we will go to save that. We'll go to, I didn't want to leave out the melee folks out there, and so with that, I'm going to go over just a quick Lightning Strike Raider. Lightning Strike is one of my favorite builds and one of my favorite skills in the game. Honestly, I love Lightning Strike so much. The only reason that I don't use it more is because I just don't want to wear myself out of doing it. I've made so many Lightning Strike characters, and I just didn't want to just continuously do Lightning Strike over and over. So I'm not somebody that gets enjoyment out of doing the same build over and over and over again. But this character gonna be a lot of fun. This is the Raider version that I'm showing. You can do it as a Slayer if you want to. Do it as a Champion if you really want to. I don't care. Do it as a Trickster if you want to. Trickster also insanely good. Has +2 Frenzy charges. Gets some other really good stuff. Has Soul Drinker. Like, so many different avenues you can go here. At the end of the day, the primary important things is that we are going Elemental Claw here. Claw really good. I have Replica Loreweave in here. Don't worry about that. Same with Darkrai Victors and Defiance of Destiny. Don't be dissuaded from this just from looking at those. I literally just threw these in here because I was curious how like tanky I could kind of make a character, like how tanky I could make it. So I threw this character together a little bit late last league just to look at, but I didn't actually pull the trigger on creating this character. But yeah, you can see with Raider here, so we're doing Way the Poacher, Avatar of Slaughter, Port's Infusion, and Rapid I almost said Rapid Onslaught. Rapid Assault for Onslaught. If you want to, take Avatar of the Veil. I'm not going to stop you. Take Avatar of the Chase if you really want to as well. I'm not going to stop you. I think either option is really, really strong. I just wanted to do both of those for a little bit of tank and a little bit of Onslaught with speech. So that is, but yeah, that is that. This is just a very simple thrown together Claw Lightning Strike character. You can't go wrong with it. It's very strong. It'll be very fun. It'll be very quick throughout the campaign, be very fast. And it's not a Transfigured gem either. This is a regular, just Vol Lightning Strike build. That is it. You have Vol Lightning Strike. We're doing Trinity things. So you're going to be running Anger. You're going to be running just usual, Grace, Precision, all that kind of good stuff. If you have the slot for it, here, I'll even put it in right now. Put in Defiance Banner. You indeed do have that kind of stuff. So yeah, there you go. That's just a bunch of league starters that I've just kind of thought and threw together. Like I said, not a very in-depth guide. I apologize. I wanted to just kind of get something out there and just kind of push like some kind of content and just say, here's a bunch of builds, take a peek, you know. I'll have notes in all of these as far as just some quick leveling tips, some quick ideas for that. So I'll at least have some notes in all of these. And if you have any questions, you know, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. But otherwise, YouTube, I hope that you're excited for Necropolis. I am really, really looking forward to it. There's going to be so much cool stuff. And I'm really just excited to get back to Path of Exile, honestly. It's been a really, really good last couple leagues. And so here's to hoping that this one also tacks on as a winner. With that, YouTube, have a great league start. And I'll see you next time.